Well, if you're a fan of jazz, R&B, and soul music, then I know you've heard of our next guest. Now, you'll know this Grammy-nominated and Billboard award-winning musician from her popular songs such as I'm Coming Back, If You Ever, and her hit cover version of the Luther Vandross song Forever, For Always, For Love. I love, love, love that song and love her rendition as well. And she has topped the jazz and R&B music charts and has recorded and toured with notable acts like the icon Prince, Mary J. Blige, and gospel sensation The Winans. Plus, she's the daughter of the late music soul legend Donny Hathaway. Please welcome to the Balancing Act this morning the first daughter of soul, R&B, and soul sensation Lalah Hathaway. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning to you. She and I were talking off camera. We're like, oh, it is early.
It is early.
It is early.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
musicians are not up at 7 a.m. in the morning, but we're so glad that you made the effort for us this morning. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You know, you've been creating albums since, what, the early 90s?
Early 90s, yes.
Early 90s. When did you realize that music was your thing?
I never actually had a realization. I've always been a musician from the time I was 3 or 4 years old. As the child of 2 musicians and students of music, it's always been the natural sort of trajectory of my life.
Your current album, as we mentioned, is called Where It All Begins. You did a remake of one of your father's songs called You Were Meant for Me. Why did you decide to do this song?
I really felt like that song fit with the whole record as a whole. The record has some sort of live sessions and some program sessions, so we really tried to create a really big palette of color for people to choose from, and I felt like it fit really great.
Would you mind singing I know it's early, Lalah, but you knew I was going to ask you. Would you mind giving us a little bit of that, if you don't mind? You were meant for me.
You were meant for me. No one else could come between. This love I know, I'll never let you go.
I love it. I was
that's
actually about
voice.
to sit back and relax and listen to that's the morning voice. I'd hate to hear the 6 p.m. voice.
That is the morning voice, girl.
Wonderful. You're constantly in the recording studio. You're touring all over the world. You know, you make all kinds of public appearances, et cetera, et cetera. Our show is called The Balancing Act, and it really is all about how women balance their lives and how you juggle your demanding career and your home life. How do you do all of this and keep your sanity?
You know, I think I'm working on it. My career and my personal life are so intertwined. I've been doing it for so long. I was a student of music before I became a professional musician. I went to Performing Arts High School. I went to the Berklee College of Music. And so my life has always been sort of a gig or rehearsing for a gig or traveling to do a gig. So I'm working on trying to get more of a personal life. You know, take a vacation every now and again and turn the phone off. I'm really trying to balance that out, but it's a work in process.
You know, it's interesting. You talked about working out, health and wellness. Here on the Balancing Act, we've been following a health and wellness initiative here. We're actually following the transformations of 4 women in our Lifetime Health and Wellness Makeover series, and these are women who've struggled, whether it's with weight or self-confidence, and they really want to live a healthier lifestyle. What challenges have you faced in that regard, especially in an industry where looks, let's face it, looks are coveted, and how you're portrayed is such an important thing?
It's hard. We live in a culture that is really obsessed with beauty and vanity and youth, and sometimes it can kind of wear you down. The thing that I'm most concerned with is music. I'm really concerned. When I was growing up, you listened to records and there were no videos.
So you really even knew what somebody looked like?
I didn't even know what Shaka Khan looked like until I was probably 9 or 10 years old. And it didn't matter because the sound, it was all about the sound. And for me, music is so much that it is visual now, but it's oral first. And so for me, the music is the thing that really gets me up in the daytime, really makes me passionate. It really transports me to places that I want to remember and that I want to go to and want to be at. And so music is really the way that I stay focused. It is really my passion.
One of the things that you promote is the Circle of Promise, and I love it. Tell me about that and why you got involved.
Absolutely. I was the national ambassador for the Circle of Promise. I'm not anymore, but I still do the work. It's an initiative directed at African American women because unfortunately African American women are the last to be diagnosed and the first to die from breast cancer. And so I do still do the work. I do some of the walks and I sing at functions, and I just talk to men and women about checking their breasts monthly and talk to women about getting their base mammograms. And I had some girlfriends that were really, really involved with breast health at one point, and it just seemed all at the same time. I feel really lucky to have hooked up with the Circle of Promise and the Susan G. Komen Foundation so that I'm able to do the work.
As I said, I love your spirit. I
so
love
much.
what you represent, and thank you so much for coming by and sharing yourself with our viewers this morning.
Absolutely.
And if you'd like more information about Lalah Hathaway, simply log on to her website. It's LalahHathaway.com. And for more information on the Circle of Promise campaign that helps fight against breast cancer in the African American community, you can log on to circleofpromise.org.